Hey guys, I cannot believe it's been almost an entire year since I've posted a garden tour video. I think my last one was sometime back in last August. Today's date is July 21st, 2017. And the reason why I haven't posted a garden tour yet is because it's been a crazy busy summer for me. It's always a busy summer, but this year I decided to open up a brand new coffee and smoothie shop called Celery, and it's been going amazingly well, but it's kept me incredibly busy. So I haven't had a lot of time for things like filming videos. However, I've still managed to find the time to plant a garden, and it's going really well this year. I think the lack of time that I've had to devote to it has actually benefited me because I haven't gotten so crazy trying to fix all of these little problems and plant too many things. So it's actually a lot more organized this year. I've put together a nice little patio area that we've been enjoying. And I have to say it's been a pretty great summer so far. So why don't we start the tour? I'm really excited to show you everything that I have going on. Let's go. So this is a new addition to the garden, something I haven't done before. These are some blueberry bushes. They haven't produced any blueberries yet this year, and they're actually not looking very healthy at the moment. I haven't done any research as to how I'm actually supposed to be growing blueberries. These are just a gift from my mother-in-law. I plopped them right in, and I'm just gonna kind of see what they do. So moving on, I have some nasturtiums here that are really struggling to grow. They got planted a little bit too late, that's probably why. And then my thyme has just totally taken off. This was planted several years back. There's 3 different varieties. There's an English thyme, a lemon thyme, and a creeping thyme. It also tastes and smells pretty lemony. Then back here we have lots of kale and Swiss chard. This was moved from a different part of the garden. It gets a lot more sun here. The soil's a little bit better, and I've been able to space them out a little bit better as well, and they're doing really, really great. I am having problems, as I always do, with the cabbage loopers and the cabbage moths. This is a Tuscan variety. You can tell by the dark green leaves. While over here we have just your traditional curly kale. We have some rosemary that's doing really well. These are all herbs that have been planted a while back, and this is a giant jungle of oregano that definitely needs to get cut down. Now these are 4 different tomato plants that I have back over here, and knock on wood, they're all doing really, really well so far. These 2 right here, the one on the left is a classic sun gold tomato, and the one on the right is called a sun sugar hybrid. They are essentially the same tomato, but the plants are very different. The difference between the sun gold and the sun sugar hybrid, the tomatoes essentially taste the same. However, the sun sugar is much more disease resistant, and the tomatoes are also crack resistant. So we're actually gonna wind up getting a better harvest from these. And you can see there's like not really any disease or blight to have set in to the sun sugar, while there is a little bit that's set into the sun gold. These are the very first tomatoes to ripen. Look, that is perfection. Now over here we have a pineapple tomato. It's a little bit smaller because I accidentally lobbed off the top of it, don't ask, a little bit earlier in the season. And then this one here is a beef master. I've always had great luck with the beef master. It's also pretty disease resistant, which is very helpful here. If you've ever watched any of my videos in the past, you probably know that I've dealt with quite a bit of disease. But you can see there's a little bit of cat facing, actually a lot of cat facing going on, but this is a really big tomato, and there's lots of other green tomatoes on here. And here in this corner, we have some strawberries that I moved, as well as some mint that kind of just goes wild, some rhubarb that is having a really hard time with the heat. It's about 92 degrees out here right now, and some chamomile, along with lots and lots of weeds. Got a couple little cucumber volunteers that I kind of transplanted over here just to see what happens to them. And then here we have lots of different tomatillos. These are my pineapple tomatillos, which I love. Grab this one that fell on the floor. Now these are also known as ground cherries or husk cherries. They're in the gooseberry. Ouch, this bug. They're in the gooseberry family, and they're so tasty. Ow, I'm getting eaten alive right now, just so you know. They taste like cotton candy. Oh my God, they're so good. We're gonna be getting tons and tons and tons of these as well, which I'm really looking forward to. Then we have a purple tomatillo and just a classic tomatillo, and these were actually volunteers. If you've ever grown tomatillos before, you probably know that the next year you just have tomatillos growing like weeds. So I save a few of the biggest ones and transplant them somewhere where I think they're gonna grow well, and I think it's safe to say that that's exactly what's happening. I've got some sage back here, some chives, some celery. This is a pretty shady part of the garden, so I thought it would be a good area to see what happens with the celery. It's mostly leaves right now, but it all has really great flavor. Over here we have some onions, and they've come up really well. And this one back here that's already gone to seed is actually a volunteer. It may have been left over from last summer, I don't know. That's the cool thing about gardening year in and year out, is that you manage to just have things sort of appear in your garden without really doing anything. This was mostly a spring, early summer garden that was full of plants that had overwintered from the previous season. Now over here, we have the beginnings of what will hopefully be one of many fall gardens. These are some beets that I planted a few weeks ago that are coming up just beautifully. And in the back here, I have some carrots that are sprouting up. And in the back here, I just pulled out a bunch of garlic. The garlic did pretty well this year. I didn't get around to planting it actually until mid-January, but it actually came up nicely and I had a pretty decent harvest. And I'm planning to plant even more carrots. So we will have like a first crop here, and then a second crop can come up over here. And in the back, I have started some seeds for a few Brussels sprouts. So I'm looking forward to getting those in the ground soon. I've had a really hard time with Brussels sprouts in the past. So I'm hoping if I can get them in the ground soon enough this year, I can have a really nice fall harvest. Now this part of the garden is just looking incredible. These are 3 different eggplant plants that I have, and there's just a ton of flowers on them and already so much eggplant coming in. I mean, this one has 4 on it alone. Now over here I have my chili plants, lots of different chili peppers, different types of jalapenos. These are a variety called Haloro, I think that's how you say it, spelled with a J. And these turn like a really cool neon color. And I didn't get the best harvest of them last year, but I did 2 years ago, and it looks like I'm gonna have a really great harvest again. This is a Serrano chili. Back here is a purple chili de arbol. These are cucumbers. They're going crazy. I mean, look at these. This is 2 plants right here. I definitely need to go in and trim some of these stems. I don't think I should really have this many going on yet. There's lots of little baby cukes, but we haven't had any come full term yet. Now if I come over to this area, it's a little bit messy. These are my last remaining garlic plants. They're almost ready to harvest. I think they have a little bit more time to go. But honestly, I think I could pull them up right now, and I think I will. Why not? I'll show you guys. So you know that they're ready to pull when they get really dead around the outside. So there's still a good bit of green on this one, so maybe I won't pull that. I'll wait a little bit longer. Let's pull this one. Nice. Looks good. It's not huge, but it'll definitely still work in recipes. And then here I have a beautiful gigantic zucchini. We've been harvesting tons of it. I usually struggle with zucchini. I get a nice harvest in the beginning and then it gets taken over by some kind of powdery mildew or disease, and I'm kind of sick of zucchini by that point anyway, so I just give up on it. And now over here to my main tomato bed, where I always plant too many tomatoes too close together, and they always have some sort of problem. The past 2 years, I've really struggled with my tomatoes. I think I've gotten in there and I've just been a little overzealous, and I've done too much, for lack of a better explanation. This year I've backed off quite a bit. I'm still keeping on a regular fertilizing schedule. I'm really just using organic fish fertilizer, Epsom salts, nothing too crazy. And they look really good. I did have one here that I had to pull out, and I'm really bummed about it because it was one of my favorite varieties, called a big zebra tomato. This year I noticed the same thing that was happening last year. I believe it's a wilt of some sort. Whether it's fusarium wilt or verticillium wilt, I have no idea if I'm saying those correctly. So I ripped it out in hopes that it would not affect any other plants. There are some diseases setting in here. You can see some yellowing on this. This is a Brandywine back here. But generally speaking, the plants look really good. And I'm so glad that I had my July garden tours from last year that I could reference to see exactly where my plants were at that point. And they're definitely doing much better this year. So this is a yellow Brandywine here that's just doing super well. There's a little bit of blight and yellowing or some kind of disease that's happening, but it's pretty much being managed. This one is Aunt Ruby's German Green, one of my favorite tomatoes of all time. This is a green zebra. Then coming around here, this is a black zebra. I love those because they're small. As much as I love those big honkin' beefsteak tomatoes, they're like too much to finish in one sitting sometimes. This is the Brandywine, which I mentioned. Let's see if I can get a close-up of the yellowing leaves here. I've been trying to pull them off. I've been spraying a little bit with copper preventatively, but it seems to be spreading kind of quickly on this one, but oh well. This is a Kellogg's Breakfast, another really nice, really tasty tomato. And then back here is a Cherokee Purple, which is another one of my favorite varieties, and this one is just filled with fruit. Don't mind the air conditioner, but I'll try and show you. I mean, there's just tons and tons of tomatoes. This is a new addition to the garden. We didn't have this last year. This is my little herb garden. So I know you probably saw all the other herbs that I had before, but I wanted to put something in that was a little closer to my kitchen and just had a bunch of herbs all together. So these are several different varieties of basil. I have a lemon basil, an Eowyn basil. I forget how to pronounce that, but it's really, really fragrant. It's a Genovese styled basil, and it's awesome. This is a, I believe it's a Valencia basil, beautiful purple basil. This is a Thai basil variety called Siam Queen. This is a purple ruffled basil that I actually thought I was gonna lose, and it's coming back. And this is the green lettuce leaf basil. That's so awesome. I mean, look how big these leaves are. It's like bigger than my hand. We have some dill. This is going to seed. So I actually just transplanted some from the little volunteers that popped up in the other tomato garden. Purple sage and another different colored sage back there. Lemon verbena, which is my favorite for making tea. A little bit of rosemary. Then I have some Italian flat leaf parsley. And of course, some tarragon. And that's about it, guys. Whew. It is so ungodly hot out right now, and I'm getting eaten alive by bugs, but it was all worth it because I really wanted to get this garden tour in. I'm gonna post this hopefully within the next couple days. Like I said, today is the 21st of July, so hopefully I'll get this in like before, you know, August 21st. I'm really glad you guys came along with me on my little garden tour. I hope to do another one sooner than later. I definitely want to keep you guys updated. I hope to have a huge harvest of tomatoes the next time that I show up here to do a little tour. So anyway, leave comments. I'd love to hear what you think of my garden. Leave me links to your garden tours. I'd love to check out what you have growing. I love this little community of gardeners that we have. I'm sorry I've been like completely silent for a while, but I promise to be back more soon. All right, see you guys later.